Hello. So I'm quite tall. I also have a long neck. I don't know if you guys... I'm 6'4". Well, I used to be 6'1", and then one day I took a Viagra and it got stuck in my throat. The other day my friend said to me, "Eric, you just look so arrogant." And I said, "First of all, it's Mr. Walsh, and I can make my face even more punchable when I bite my cheeks. But I'm not a douche. I read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, and now my banter brings all the boys to the yard." I highly recommend the book, especially if people don't enjoy your company. But I don't know, I feel like a lot of people today have lost the art of good conversation. Like, I don't want to hear about your transformative experience studying abroad in Madrid. I want to hear what you think about my semester in Barcelona. I was just back in Europe. I went to Scotland, and then I went to Portugal. I went with my white friend Max, and if I don't specify race, it means they're black. And I also went with my white friend Sean. And we ended up getting into a big discussion about affirmative action. And then Andrew arrived, and we changed the subject. Here was a question we were asking people there. I'm curious what you guys think. How much would you guys be willing to sell the next year of your life for? So you wake up a year from now, you get that amount of money, but you skip that year. What do you guys have a number? 500K? Nice. Okay. My friend said 80 grand, which I'm pretty sure was a cry for help, because that's like 50 grand after tax. I kind of want to purchase my friend and then resell him at a higher price. So if any of you are interested in a handsome Dominican man, let me know. I think my answer would be, if I was to sell the next year, I think I would do 5 million. Yeah, I do. I really enjoy my life. You know, I read recently apparently the best indicator for good mental health is spontaneity. Needless to say, I'm flourishing. I can't say this definitively, but I'm pretty sure the other day this guy Pythagorean theoremed me at the urinal. He asked me how tall I am. Then he asked me my shoe size. And I think he took A and B to calculate the size of my C. He could have just peered over the divider. That's what I did. It'd be crazy if that formula actually worked, that if you knew someone's height and shoe size, you could calculate their endowment. Because, like, say I went to Foot Locker. He's like, "Okay, so let's measure your foot. So how tall are you? And how big is your penis?" And then I leave the store with shoes that are way too big. Because I lied to him. That's the best math joke you've heard all night, I hope. But what else do you need to know about me? I'm not one to toot my own vuvuzela, but I went to a very good college. I'm not going to say which one, but top 3, you know, Harvard, Yale, University of Wisconsin, and my roommate in college, he was in the military. He served in Iraq, but he was an accountant. He was the numbers guy in Baghdad. How is that job not remote? There's this quote I love by Carl Jung. Carl Jung, the psychologist, not to be confused with my nephew, young Carl. The quote is, "The world will ask you who you are, and if you do not know, the world will tell you." The world told me to work in finance. And by the world, I mean my dad. Here's another quote. "Dogs are awesome." That's a quote by young Carl. I did end up working in finance. I really didn't like finance. I was told my email sign-off was unprofessional because I signed off with Memento Mori. which is Latin for remember you will die. My boss hated me. My boss was a micromanager. He was much shorter than me. And in his defense, I was not a good employee. Like, sometimes I would call out of work when I slept too well. I'd be like, honestly, Dave, I got an incredible night of sleep and I'm feeling a little over the weather. And you don't deserve me at my best. Memento mori. It's exhilarating being up here, it really is. Sometimes I feel like an oscillating fan because I'm always like... I'm from Connecticut, obviously. I am from a town called Darien. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's one of those towns where even the third graders are Republican. For tax reasons. It's a very waspy place. The only Jewish person in my hometown is my poster of Larry David, and when we have company over, we move the poster to the attic just to be safe. And listen, I'm not trying to slander my hometown. I don't want anyone jumping out of their boat shoes, but it's a very elitist environment. For example, in school at the academy, we had to learn both French and Spanish so that we would know how to scold the chef and the cleaning lady. No bueno, no bueno. I'm skinny, but I'm too lazy to get jacked. I'm more lazy than I am insecure. I honestly think I would be a worse person if I was jacked. I think my twink physique mitigates my grandiosity, but I have been going back to the gym recently to make myself presentable for mating season, yeah. So within the next month or two, I should be looking like a hot piece of giraffe. I've also been trying to improve my jawline, so I've been going to sleep wearing a ball gag. Nothing too fancy, just your textbook red ball gag. Khakis in the streets, ball gag in the sheets, so to speak. Here's a question for you guys. Say someone came up to you with two pieces of paper. One says what your life calling is. The other says who your soulmate is. Which one do you take? Soulmate? Okay. I think it would be jarring if you chose soulmate and that was how you found out you were gay. It says Anthony. He's like, can you at least tell me your life calling now? Like, I don't know. Your calling in life is to come out of the closet. But, and I would choose soulmate. I don't know. My mom's been on my case about getting a girlfriend lately, so she's always pointing out attractive women on the street. And I'm like, yeah, she's hot, mother, but is she wise? Does she have a certain joie de vivre? Because I live in the West Village, there's a million beautiful women, but they have no zest. And I'm not trying to insult any of these beautiful women who radiate no joy. I'm just saying I'm quite a vivacious fellow. I think women should compliment men more often, Specifically me, but I have been told I can be a little intimidating, so I've started wearing a backpack to weaken my aura. My aura knocked over that beer right there. I have a roommate. He's a man. We have different beds. But a couple nights ago, he came into my room at 2 a.m. to take my phone charger. And I woke up and went, oh! Because I was wearing my ball gag. I am an unusual man. No one has ever told me that there's plenty of fish in the sea. All they say is your wife is going to be one weird fish. If I told you guys I can't create images in my head, would you believe me? Yeah. No? Yes? So, okay, some of you know. So I cannot create images in my head. It's a condition called aphantasia. About 1% of people have it, where I can't picture anything in my head. I mean, a teacher once told me to visualize failing my final exam. And I sounded like such a tool when I said, I can't visualize failure. And what's crazy about it is not only do I have aphantasia, because I can't create images, I also can't relive the past. So I have no memory bank, no spank bank, all the banks are closed. It's like the Great Depression. So as a result, I genuinely, this is not a lot, I live in the present, like all the time. Yeah, Buddhist monks meditate for 10 hours a day just to get where I am on a regular Tuesday. And just because I live in the present all the time, I don't mean to suggest that I'm better than you or anything like that. I'm just different, you know. It's like comparing an apple to a god. I was feeling a little melancholy, though, the other day, and if you're unfamiliar with the word melancholy, it basically just means lugubrious, but there's I don't know. There's this quote I love by Henry David Thoreau. I believe it was Henry David Thoreau. Maybe it was Jason Derulo. Said that most men lead lives of quiet desperation. And I think that's true. I think it's very hard to be vulnerable as a guy. I feel like guys, we get physical safety, we just don't get emotional safety. Like, I can go on a walk at 2 in the morning, but I can't tell anyone why I'm walking at 2 in the morning. I don't know. I've been working on it with my therapist, ChatGPT, and we get along great. Yeah, no, I haven't cried in 10 years, which is my biggest flaw or my biggest strength, depending if you ask my mom or dad. No, my mother's a very nice lady. She dresses me quite well, but she always is doing weird stuff though. Like growing up, we had a sauna in our basement, which sounds cool, but it isn't. Because having a sauna in the basement also means having a naked mom in the basement, and that sucks. My friend recently asked me an interesting question when I got margaritas with the boys. Spicy, of course, but he said, Eric, if you could go back in time and change anything about your past, what would you change? I said, I wouldn't change anything, because everything in my past has made me who I am today. He said, I know. That's why I'm asking. I have been trying to get outside of my comfort zone lately, though, so I went to a concert at Carnegie Hall by myself. And the tickets were only $7, and I quickly learned why they were only $7. I went to a middle school recital by myself, and I had a phenomenal seat, which made me feel even creepier. On my way home from the concert, this was weird. I was walking, and there were 2 women on the side of the street, and they were making out. And a straight couple walked by them, and the girlfriend whispered to her boyfriend, lesbians. She said it like we were on a safari. Shh, don't startle them. This is fun. It's a lot of fun. I don't know. I enjoy doing comedy. Comedy can be a little difficult, but my friends and family have believed in me ever since day 982. And they were not very supportive when I first started. I remember a friend came to a show, and he told me I was never going to make it. And I said, how do you know? You've never done comedy. He said, I don't dance, but I know a bad one when I see one. He's a cop, by the way. Yeah, so back in 2020, I went to some of the protests. And I held up a sign with a picture of him that said, defund Brian. That night, I texted him a picture of the sign, and underneath it I wrote, Memento Mori. I don't know, I've accepted, even if I proved Brian wrong and became a big success, there would never be a movie made about my life. No one wants to watch a movie about a guy from Connecticut who went from riches to riches. A kid born on third base who trotted home. Okay, I'm curious. This last question I've got for you guys. Would you rather have someone describe you as a bad person or forgettable? Bad person. Are we all just narcissists? Discuss it after. I'm curious what you guys think. But okay, I'll end with it. It's a little dirty, but it's Saturday night. So I was at a bar, I think like 7 or 8 months ago, and this very short woman came up to me. She said, "If you were 3 inches taller, I could blow you standing up." And I had no idea how to respond. So I just went. My name's Eric Walsh. That was the show. Thank you very much. Have a good night, guys.